Get ready for another live deal breakdown where you get to look over my shoulder and watch me wholesale a house virtually without ever seeing the property in person. Coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Quick Start Kit with everything you need to flip your first house in 30 days or less. Download it now at myquickstartkit.com.
If you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton. I went from dead broke to millionaire flipping houses. And after doing 1,000 deals, I created this channel to help you master the art of wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. Those of you that follow me know that in addition to wholesaling and flipping off-market properties, I also love to wholesale and flip on-market properties. And if you follow me, you also know that I do a lot of my deals remotely or virtually without ever seeing the properties in person. And today's case study is both an on-market deal and a virtual deal. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the entire deal from start to finish and show you how I made a $15,000 profit on the deal. And the way that I did this deal is a little bit different. I did not do a traditional assignment of contract, so make sure you pay close attention. First, let's talk about how I found and secured this deal. This property came out for sale for $140,000 as a cash-only property. Now, cash only means that the property was not functional or livable and that it was in too much disrepair for a retail buyer to purchase the home using traditional financing like FHA or even conventional lending. Basically, if it's not livable, a homeowner can't get a loan. This limits the market down to just cash buyer investors, eliminating a ton of the competition. And by the way, I found this deal using a software that I developed that identifies and finds all of the underpriced homes for sale in any zip code. To get that for free, just go to mydatacruncher.com. So what I want to do right now is show you my 4-step process to secure a deal and then quickly wholesale it for a profit. Step number 1 is to calculate the maximum allowable offer, or MAO. Simply put, the price I need to get it for to make it a deal that I can wholesale or flip for profit. Now, knowing my market, I decided to follow a reasonable fix and flip formula of 75% of after repair value, or ARV, to calculate my MAO. Why 75%? Because like I said, most flippers in that market as of the time of this recording are buying at 75% to 80% of the back end resale value. So for example, if a property will sell for $200,000 once fixed up, a flipper following the 75% formula will want to be all in on that deal for $150,000. That leaves $50,000 to cover closing fees, commissions, financing if any, and profit. That means the formula to determine MAO is ARV times 75% minus repairs needed to fix it up equals the buy price that a flipper will pay. So if you're going to wholesale this deal, you would need to build in your wholesale fee on top of that. But don't worry if you're unsure at all how the formula works. I'm going to use my deal to show you so that it makes sense. Now I'm going to go to Zillow right now and I'm going to zoom in on the location of the property. So I'm right here on the map. Then I'm going to add some filters so that I'm only looking at relevant similar homes. So my deal is 2,100 square feet and a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. So I'm going to add 2 bedrooms to my filter, and I'm going to add a minimum of 2,000 square feet. And then I'm just going to look at homes that sold in the past 6 months in the given neighborhood. Now take a look. There are a few comps in the 240s. Here's a 2-bedroom flip for 275. Here's another one for 275. Now these have at least another bathroom, and I know they're flips because take a look. You can tell it's been completely renovated. Now, if I want my house to look like this, it's going to cost around $85,000 to $90,000 in rehab. So assuming I spend $90,000 on my house and it looks comparable to this comp, I should be able to sell it for $275,000. So let's run the 75% formula to determine the MAO. $275,000 times 75% equals $206,250 minus rehab of $90,000 puts the buy price around $116,000. So again, if a flipper following the 75% formula bought this property for $116,000, spent $90,000 on his rehab, he should be able to sell it for $275,000 and make a $69,000 gross profit, and that's before closing, financing, and commissions, which means he would probably make around $35,000 to $40,000 in net profit. Now, I did a video where I break down in detail how to calculate your offer price when wholesaling houses. I'll put the link to that video in the description below and you can check it out later. Keep in mind, $116,000 is the buy for the flipper at 75%. If you want to wholesale this deal, you need to get it for less than $116,000. In fact, your wholesale fee is the difference from the flipper's price of $116,000 and whatever you get the contract for. So now that I know what a good number is for the average local flipper, it's time for step 2, and that is to make a formal offer. Since this property is on market, there are agents involved, so you have to have agent representation on the deal. Now, following my double dip technique that I teach extensively here on my channel, we went straight to the listing agent unrepresented and asked her to represent me and present a cash offer to the seller. Now, by doing so, the listing agent not only got paid 3% for representing the seller as the listing agent, but another 3% representing me as the buyer. This is technically called dual agency, and it creates a competitive advantage in the market because it's extremely motivating for some listing agents. Why? Because they earn double the commission. Now, if you're listing and you're in a state that does not allow dual agency, or if the agent chooses not to participate in dual agency, there is a workaround using designated agency, and I did a video using a live deal where I show how to do that. I'll put the link to that in the description below and you can check it out later. On this deal, the agent was enthusiastic to work with me and present my cash offer to the seller. And like I said, this property was listed for $140,000, which was overpriced. Remember, the fix and flip buy price is $116,000. So I made a cash offer for $100,000, and after some back and forth, we settled at $105,000. Now let me stop right there and point something out. You may be thinking that it's just unbelievable that the seller accepted $105 on a $140 listing. Why would they do that? And most of the time they don't. But in this business, it's a numbers game. In my business, we make hundreds of offers month in and month out. Make enough offers and it will happen to you. You will get deals accepted. Now, I want you to repeat after me. The more offers I make, the more deals I'll get, and the more money I'll make. In fact, if you believe that and you want to manifest that in your life, leave a comment right now and declare that to the universe. Write it down in the comments below. The more offers I make, the more deals I'll get, and the more money I'll make. And by the way, if you'd like to get my word-for-word scripts for how to talk to agents, present the double dip technique, and overcome objections, as well as my 10-point checklist for what the agent must include in your offer to make it wholesaler friendly, I'll give all of that to you for free. To download that, just go to agentofferscripts.com. So once I had an executed contract for $105,000, it was time for step 3, which was to find my buyer. Now, normally the traditional way to wholesale is to find a cash buyer and then assign your contract. In this case, for $116,000 and make an $11,000 wholesale fee on the deal, but I decided to take a little different approach. You see, I'm not a one-trick pony and I don't just do assignments. Here's what I did. I went ahead and closed and purchased the property for $105,000. Then I spent $520 to hire a contractor to cut down all of the overgrown brush and trees in the front of the house. Now take a look at what it looked like after that. Can you believe the transformation from $500 in brush removal? It looks like a completely different house, which was what I was hoping for. After doing that, I felt like I could get a higher price than just assigning my deal to a local cash buyer for $116,000, and I was right. My goal was to see if I could get $130,000, so I put it up for sale on the MLS, and since I'm getting maximum exposure now, in the first day I received a ton of activity, and I started getting all kinds of offers ranging from $115,000 to $120,000, and then I got $125,000 cash as is, no inspection, $5,000 non-refundable earnest money with a 2-week closing. Now, although I wanted $130,000, I could not turn that deal down, which takes us to step 4. I accepted that and we closed 2 weeks later with that cash buyer. Now, after my landscaping bill and some closing fees and commissions, I made a net profit of approximately $15,000. So not the highest profit deal I've ever done, but with 10 kids to feed, every little bit helps. Now to put it in perspective, I never physically saw this property and I maybe had an hour or two total invested in the deal. So you tell me, if you think making $15,000 flipping a house remotely with minimal time and effort is pretty cool, leave a comment and say, Jerry, you did it again. You are a flipping genius. Now, getting a good deal under contract, taking it down and closing on the purchase, and then quickly reselling it is currently one of my favorite strategies because in most cases, I can make a lot more money than traditional assignment wholesales. So what I want you to do next is watch a video where I break down how to do this strategy in greater detail so that you can do the same thing. Watch that now, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel. With over 650 videos, this is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things wholesaling and flipping, and I'll see you on the next video.